It's a very generous offering, first ball from Ian Gould. And sometimes the umpires say to bowlers and to players, I'll give you a lot of leeway maybe with the first delivery, because having been a player myself, and that's what the umpire Ian Gould, who's played cricket at various levels, would have said. I think it was a very generous offering. You cannot use that as a precedent.
That's it. So that's going to set the tone. It's not really going to bounce, and it's not going to come off the track with any degree of pace. Maybe with the new ball you try and pitch it up to get some swing, but later on you've got to keep hitting the wicket. It's Amish Sahiba standing also in his 16th ODI. He's had a fairly decent series against Australia. It's always difficult to find the right position for the slips and the wicketkeeper to be standing. Runs on the leg stump. That's been flicked away. That should be 4 of them. That should rest any nerves in Salman Butt's mind.
Well, often for a bowler, when they've started with the first couple of deliveries outside the off stump, they've seen a little bit of swing. In Zahir Khan's case here, he tries to start it a bit straighter to make the swing effective. What he's done is overcompensated. It didn't swing as much as he thought, and it's put away for 4. And you're right, Salman Butt will appreciate this in getting off the mark.
Well, that's wide. That's very wide indeed. You've got to really find the length on a track like this. Maybe, as I was saying initially, Bish, that you try and search for swing and try and pitch it up, but very soon you've got to try and adjust and bowl that slightly short and on the stumps, because it's going to be slow and it's going to be low. That'll be 4. What a first over. All square leg. 11 without loss. That's down the leg side, but there's a little bit of movement into the right-hander. It's more to put some pressure on the batsman. But the good thing is that the Indian bowlers are getting a little movement in the air.
It has to pitch on, and then it has to be hitting the stumps. Now, has it pitched on? Probably gone on to miss leg stump. I think that's a good indication of what we saw in real time. So good decision by the umpire early up. It's good to get a good one under the belt as an umpire early in the game. It gives you confidence.
Well, that's a good shot. That is 4. That's been played on the up. A little bit of room, and he's capitalized on it. 4 for Kamran Akmal.
Kamran Akmal scores a lot of runs through this area. The righties hit it slightly on the up.
That's the one. He chased it. Didn't make contact.
He's come to that stage in his career, Zahir Khan, now, where he understands his mechanics a lot better. He's a lot fitter. He can assess situations a lot quicker than he did years ago when he was younger, more naive.
Well, that is silken. That is an exquisite shot. It's 4 all the way. Nobody moved.
And again, you'll see that Kamran Akmal has hit 2 boundaries. They've both come square of the wicket. It's an area that he peppers often. Of course, when he's given the room, he can do that. Loves to get onto that front foot. He's a good player.
He's definitely attempting to find the right length, Irfan. He's trying to not release the pressure. Doesn't have too much pace, not like RP Singh, who's in the mid-140s. Irfan in the mid-130s or the early 30s. Of late, he's found some more rhythm and speed. The criticism was that he had lost it earlier. He was bowling at 123, 124, but that's a lot different now. That's an opportunity lost. Again on the leg stump. Could have put that away.
It's one of those shots that I think if you put it in bowling parlance, you bowl a beautiful leg cutter and you go past the outside edge, you think, oh, why didn't that hit the edge? Well, when you miss out on a half volley on leg stump as a batsman, it must sort of wind you a bit.
Oh, that is a spectacular shot. That's been dismissed. Just a flick of the wrist. In fact, there was not a lot wrong with that delivery. Just that hint of being short. And he's dispatched that.
But how short was it? How much did it bounce? That's what I'd like to see again here on the replay. It was probably just an inch over stump high, so not really that short. It's a fantastic shot. I think points to the batsman for that one.
Oh, that is beautiful. That is the length. That is, you just had to put bat to ball 4 all the way. Absolute half volley outside the off stump, and that's been put away. Yes, that expression says it all. Suddenly over pitching there, but again just the wrists, again not copybook, no real follow through of the blade, but very effective Salman Butt, and he's looking very good indeed.
Good hit. It's a quick outfield and just manages to get to the boundary. Been plenty of boundaries scored in this innings by part of the Pakistan players.
Well, early on in the over, Salman Butt was beaten with the same kind of a delivery. But on that occasion, the reason why he was able to hit that ball straight and sweetly, because the line was towards the middle stump, and that's where he could use the wrist and place the ball beautifully for 4 runs. Another good over for the Pakistanis.
Again into the gap. Bit of chasing to do, but the ball will win the race. Back-to-back boundaries for Salman Butt.
Well, it was the footwork once again which allowed and gave the luxury to Salman Butt to use his wrist and place the ball on the onside for 4 runs. He's batting beautifully. Exaggerated movement towards the off stump. That allowed him to keep the ball away from his front pad and hit the ball beautifully. Good cricket, good batting by Salman Butt.
It's 40 for no loss. Looking at a big score here. The first over, very expensive from Zahir Khan, then pulled it back gradually. Some tidy overs from RP Singh. The problem for India, no dots, no wickets yet. Certainly will take power play number 2. There's the indication of that. Mir Good, the umpire. And how many fielders is he going to have outside the ring? Might be just the 2 at this stage, with Pakistan going at 4.4 runs per over. Two men outside the ring. There's a deep fine leg and a man, a deep third man. Very conventional field against Akmal. Could be tight, he'll pitch in line. Up goes the finger, and there comes the breakthrough. Much needed breakthrough for India. Irfan Pathan has provided this breakthrough mainly because of a poor shot from Kamran Akmal.
Well, it was just a matter of time for Kamran Akmal because he was looking edgy and nervy. He was not getting the ball onto the bat and he was not able to score runs, and that frustrated him, And the Indians, they are back. That's what they were looking for. The ball looked to pitch on the leg stump, and looks like a good decision from the umpire. Well, it was marginal, but one has to say that Kamran Akmal was unlucky. He's out for 12 and Pakistan 44 for 1.
Out comes a class player, Yunus Khan. Good strike rate, very healthy average, but he's actually a much better player than those numbers suggest. Could well end up in the 40s average-wise a little later. Could be a wide. He's called 1 for the over, not being called a wide.
Well, it was a short delivery, no doubt about it. But once as a batsman, you know the pitch is not offering a lot of bounce. You should look to play on the front foot.
It's a very strong offside field. You see plenty of men on the offside. Well covered on the offside. So the line's going to be around the off stump, marginally outside. See two men very square of the wicket. That's to protect the square drive and the square cuts.
And he has got the protection on the onside as well. And if you have a look at the square leg fieldsman, he's fielding in front of the umpire. And that suggests to me that Zaheer Khan is looking to bowl from off stump to the middle stump, so the batsman doesn't have the room to work the ball into the gaps. And the Indian team, they are reacting very well to the situation. They know that if they can keep Salman Butt quiet, which is not looking likely because he's hit another boundary that was nicely timed. There was room outside the off stump, and that's where Salman Butt capitalized.
Well, the first three deliveries were good. But this one, just a little bit of width provided by Zaheer Khan, and he's such a good player. Even though the bottom hand came off the bat, he hit it right into the ground and gets a boundary. Very good value for your shots on this outfield. Got plenty of runs in domestic English cricket, playing for Yorkshire, Yunus Khan. No off-season for him, really. In 2007, average of under 30, no hundreds. Will pick up a single to get off the mark.
Well, he had a good series, test match series against the South Africans where he scored 200. He was prolific, but in the one-days, he's been struggling. But he has played, and he has produced some quality innings under pressure. And he's a kind of a player who requires pressure situations to excel.
Very good hit down the ground. Doesn't get better. Probably the best shot to watch in the game of cricket.
Well, that was dispatched disdainfully by Salman Butt. Yes, the ball was in the slot. The batsman really had to play it and hit the ball into the gap, and that's what he did, hitting the ball straight past the bowler. No chance for Irfan Pathan to stop Atman. And he's not a happy man.
Could be tight. Well taken single, ends the over, 56 for 1.
Slicing shot this time from Yunus Khan. Once again, he finds the fielder. Frustration must be creeping in now. Yunus Khan has been out there for quite a while. 11 balls, 20 minutes. He's only picked up 1 run so far.
Well, that tells the story, doesn't it?
I just think that sometimes if you're struggling for a bit of form, pick up your first 20 in singles. Just get things ticking over, and that keeps you on the ball that little bit longer, and then your timing comes and you start picking the gaps.
Full toss, and he goes for the drive. Brilliantly done by, I think it's Gautam Gambhir at mid-off. 59 for 1. They don't really increase the tempo when it is required. You look at Kamran Akmal, Yunus Khan, Yousuf, Misbah-ul Haq, they're all of the same pace. So you need a bit of Shahid Afridi probably up the order when you get a good start. This should be a very close thing. Gautam Gambhir really had to stretch himself. I think India will have to do this quite regularly. Try the short pitch ball and surprise the batsman, and Yunus Khan was clearly surprised by this one.
Exactly, Ramesh, and he didn't get it at all. It tells me something here. He picked that up so late. The pitch is slow. When it's stumped in that short, you should be quickly onto the back foot. And it caught him by surprise, and maybe he's not reading the ball from the hand. He's waiting for the ball to appear, and it's that fraction of a second that can cost you your wicket.
Wrong line to Salman Butt. Beautifully played shot. Good effort from Murli Karthik. Dhoni will be looking for some commitment at this stage of the game from his fielders.
Murli Karthik has saved a couple here. Beautifully fielded.
Nice drive for no runs. 67 for 1. And players will take drinks as well. Bit of spin. Salman Butt would want to come back for the second run. He will come back for the second, and his 50 has been raised as a result of that drive. He raises the bat to the gallery. It's been a good knock. Under pressure to hold his place in this lineup. And what a response from Salman Butt. 50 from just 56 balls.
There are 8 boundaries in that, 8 fours, 32 out of the 50 in boundaries, and that tells a story. Needs to push and run a bit more, I think.
Chance of a run out. Dhoni has whipped the bails off. No communication from Yunus Khan. Salman Butt was looking for that single, and it could be a disastrous end for what was looking like a very good knock from Salman Butt.
Wow, as soon as he took off and Yunus Khan was not interested, he saw the opportunity for a single. Now, was there a call? There's an easy single there, and he was struggling all the way. No chance. Bails are gone. He's a long way short. Nice take from Dhoni. Got to be given out, I feel.
That's got to be out. Out is the call from the third umpire. Crowds burst into a roar. They've had to wait for this to happen for a long time. Salman Butt, well, unfortunate end to what was appearing to be a high-quality knock. Yuvraj Singh was quickly across, and Salman Butt was not quickly across to get back into the crease, and Yuvraj Singh knew it straight away. Gone for 50, 69 for 2. Mohammad Yousuf is at the crease. Very good stats, those. Over 8,000 runs. Average of over 40. Good strike rate. But this could be another prickly situation for Pakistan, because there's not a good runner. Last batsman out through a run out. And he's been put under a bit of pressure. Slip and a short leg in place. In fact, shot 45. And he eases into that drive. End of the over, 69 for 2.
It's a leg by, so he's not yet off the mark. There's a smooth player, Mohammad Yousuf. So much depends in this innings. If he has a good day, Pakistan can breathe freely and easily. Dhoni and slip fielder was keen. Murli Karthik was matter of fact. Just went out there to collect the ball.
Where does it pitch? It pitches in line and straightens. That's a fair shout, but a long way forward, I think, and he got the benefit of the doubt, but worth a shout, that one.
Yes, the front foot stride would have saved him in the end, because otherwise the impact looked pretty adjacent to the stumps. Would have gone on to hit the leg side of the middle stump. But this is where he got safe.
Having lost the toss, India will be quite pleased with what they can see. 6th and over will get Pakistan to 251. Has he taken it? He's opened the face of the bat. Not carried. Sourav Ganguly, the field head slip. Does not carry, no pace, no bounce.
Well, these are the hazards for the batsmen when they're playing on such a track where there is no pace. They have to take their chances. Huge shout. But the ball clearly pitching outside the off stump. Although it was an arm delivery, but the impact looked like outside the off stump. And I think the umpire got it right.
Well, a marginal call and a good call. He's looking to play a shot. Struck outside the line of off stump, very marginal, but he's already given one that pitched outside leg. Oh, very well bowled indeed. It was the on ball coming quick off the pitch at 92 Ks. Yunus Khan certainly did not pick that one. Another look at the leg before appeal. Pitch is just outside the line, striking him just outside the line, but doesn't matter. As long as the impact was marginally outside the line of off stump and the batsman was attempting to play a shot, it can't be given. Certainly the spinners are making it difficult for the batsmen, slowing down the run rate. The last 10 overs, no boundaries for Pakistan. Big appeal. Well, does bowl the arm bowl to good effect, but he's also bowled good line and length consistently.
Yes, he's using those arm deliveries against Yunus Khan. It was the stride which saved Yunus Khan on that occasion. Well, he's been tested. There is no doubt about it.
Pick up a single. It's 86 for 2. One man is going deep now, sweeper point. Still 6 inside the ring, fairly attacking.
Well, it's just because of the intent of the batsman. They're not looking to take the aerial route, and they're not looking to jump down the track and hit the bowler. And that's where he tried. It's in the air. Will it be taken? No, it is not. It's a lucky break for Mohammad Yousuf.
Oh, what a big miss. It is all set up so nicely for Murli Karthik. Good captaincy by Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Followed up with a good delivery. Playing against the turn. Hitting the toe end of the bat. Was in the air for a long, long time. Sourav Ganguly didn't even get underneath it. Even a desperate dive does him no good. Oh, 96 for 2.
In the air once again, but falling short.
Again, it's all going towards Sourav Ganguly. But this was well shot of Ganguly. Again, deceived in the air.
Well, I think what Mohinder Singh is missing out there, he has seen the ball going in the air in that particular spot. He should ask the fieldsman to move in.
Gone. Looking for that impetus, Yunus Khan. looking to get the boundary, which has dried up over the last 10 or 12 overs, and couldn't get enough power, couldn't get under it to clear long on. Good pressure from India.
This time the catch was taken. Yunus Khan has got good record in one-day cricket, but is not a finisher, and that thought will be disturbing his team now. Once again falters when he was on 25. Gone 104 for 3.
These middle overs have been difficult for Pakistan's batsmen to negotiate. Shahid Afridi comes to the crease. It's a strike rate that is the most impressive thing about his batting.
It'll be interesting to see how the Indians dominate him. They've got a slip in place. Long off is in position. Mid-on is up in the ring, so they want him to hit across the line, which is done. Sachin Tendulkar is trying to get around that one. Falls in no man's land. Now that is what Murli Karthik wants Afridi to do. Go against the line. This was very much with the spin from Yunus Khan, but didn't have enough power. He's not a six-hitter. Yunus Khan, and in the end perished because of the pressure that was being exerted by the Indian spinners.
Well, there's no one at a deep mid-wicket position because of the planning between captain and left-arm spinner. And he won't be inhibited, Afridi now. 34 overs gone, the ball has been changed, this one. Just by the look of it, slightly whiter in colour all round than the previous delivery, previous ball. And it comes off the bat with a little more velocity as well, and that has been the complaint of the bowlers and the teams around the world, that not only does it eliminate to a certain extent reverse swing, and it also gives a little bit extra to the batsman, because normally the ball would get a little bit softer towards the end of the innings and be a little more difficult to clear the boundary ropes. Just like that, Shahid Afridi gets some good velocity off this, and it's cleared along on quite easily. That's his first boundary, and it's a 6.
Harder ball working in favour of Shahid Afridi. What a strike. In position early and allowed his bat to swing properly through the line over mid-on. Not an easy shot to play. It went all the way, and he was almost unbalanced when he stroked that one.
Found the gap quite nicely, and Mohammad Yousuf has improved his strike rate a touch. It's gone up to just about 60. It was languishing at about 40 for the most part.
This change ball helping Mohammad Yousuf, because he's striking the ball neatly and he's looking a lot more safer and a lot more in control against the medium paces.
That's gone for 4, not where he intended, but a couple of boundaries in the over. 147 for 3.
And that's high in the air, but he's got enough on it. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing, Shahid Afridi. He's mishit that and nearly went for 6.
Usually there's a saying that nothing venture, nothing gain. Now this man is there to try and find the boundaries. He wanted to go straight, sliced it a bit, but got 4 for it, so he's the danger man at the moment. This time he's gone. Sachin Tendulkar has prevailed. That is intelligent stuff. Afridi got his bat down on time the previous occasion, but not this one. He's got to go, and that's a big one for India.
Well, the game of cricket is a game of angles, and Sachin Tendulkar has been around long enough now to play the angles game. Came around the wicket, firing the ball across with the angle, spinning it further, and he tested Afridi's patience. Great cricket brain, Sachin Tendulkar. That's why he's a champion. Shahid Afridi gone for 31. It's 163 for 4. matches, a young captain, averaging 34.15 and a strike rate of 78. And one wonders whether he should be batting higher in the order. Full toss now, hit that for 6, and he doesn't. Didn't quite get hold of it. Look at him, he said this game was easy.
Well, there will be full tosses. Sachin will give you those. You've got to try and find the gaps now. Shoaib Malik, new at the crease, should have tried to go for the gap. Instead, he wanted to go all the way for 6. Didn't quite bother to see where the field is set. Didn't connect well enough. So Gautam Gambhir in the way. Big wicket for India. Pakistan suddenly struggling. 2 wickets down in quick succession. Shoaib Malik very disappointed indeed. It's gone for 2. It's 165 for 5.
Misbah-ul Haq, very fine striker of the ball, 18 matches, averaging 31, strike rate of 68. It can get better, I reckon.
He's gone for the reverse sweep and he's got it into the gap. There is a man in the deep, and he's very, very straight indeed. And Misbah-ul Haq brings up a much-needed boundary for Pakistan. Good afternoon, Ramiz Raja.
Good afternoon, Shiva. Welcome break. A boundary was required, and Misbah-ul Haq, even though it didn't look too graceful when executing this, but it meant it had 4 runs. Irfan Pathan couldn't read the wrong one on that. Went the other way, and well, he now looks very embarrassed.
The ball did turn, just pitched before Irfan Pathan. A little bit of slice on that. It turned quite a bit. Not only is the pitch turning, the outfield is also assisting a little bit of turn.
Well, he really had to steady himself. When the ball is spinning, you've got to first hold firm, take a position, and then look to read the spin on the ball. He was on the move, and in the end, it was all too late for him.
Again, the quicker delivery will bring up the 50 for Mohammad Yousuf.
He's become a bit of a stats guy, Mohammad Yousuf. I don't know whether this innings will help Pakistan to any length or will help them to win this game, but it's a typical Mohammad Yousuf effort.
Just wide. Tendulkar at short cover. Again, they're looking for 2, almost colliding against one another. Will pick up 2, also brings up the 200 for Pakistan. Getting to your point, anything less than 250, really the bowlers will have to do a brilliant job to win the game.
Fourth 50, taking just 51 balls, the best of the innings.
He's played it fine. Intelligent cricket this. He's got to open up and get a few boundaries. Exactly what Mohammad Yousuf has done now.
This is a very good shot from Mohammad Yousuf. He's well settled and read the length early. Knew exactly where the fielder was. Good, intelligent cricket from Mohammad Yousuf. He's a class act.
This time he's gone over and he's done it well. Improving his strike rate all the time now.
That's a glorious cover drive. He looks so much better when he's made a positive intent. Nice free flow of the bat and aiming the right area. He had to really escape that fielder in the ring at cover, which he did. Magnificent hit.
That's gone fine. There'll be a boundary. Cleverly played once again. He was expecting the Yorker and he took it on the full toss.
That is where you've got to be precisely right every time with that Yorker length. If you get it wrong, then you put away for runs, and nicely crafted, constructed shot.
He's hammered it down the ground. There is long off, but he's got no chance whatsoever. What a hit from Misbah-ul-Haq.
He's a powerful hitter, Misbah-ul-Haq. Made room and allowed the bat swing really to come down hard on that ball. Nicely balanced and powerfully put away through cover. The long off fielder had no chance in the end because it was struck up the middle of his stick.
It's gone straight down the ground. Harbhajan Singh takes it comfortably in the end. And a wicket for Zahir Khan, and the dangerous Misbah-ul-Haq is dismissed for 27.
Obviously didn't get the sweeter part of his bat. Harbhajan Singh got the sweeter part of his palm. Slow delivery, didn't middle it. The bat probably twisting in his hands and the ball was skied in the air. Good running catch by Harbhajan Singh. Bit of rugby stuff in the end. Obviously he's not good at it. 233 for 6. Abdur Rahman, still young at this level, but he's impressed with his left arm spin. Misbah-ul-Haq couldn't middle it. Harbhajan took a fine running catch, stretched himself and missed the ball, and thank God for that, otherwise his toe would have been in plaster.
India would be happy that he missed it with the leg, not with his hands. Catch nicely taken in the deep. Good Yorker, might have missed leg stump. Saiba, the umpire, hasn't given it.
Well, the idea was right from Zahir Khan. Keep it nice and full to the new batsman. Obviously missed the target. His ball with a lot of control, and there you see that ball swinging down the leg side. Would have gone on to miss the stumps.
And the short fine leg has been cleared quite easily. Well, the last few overs, Mohammad Yousuf is scoring a lot of boundaries, so strike rate has gone to 95 and he's moved to 83.
Great control over that shot, because this is the third time I think he's played the ball away for a 4 in that particular fashion. He's got a high back lift, but then look at the control, because if you have that kind of high back lift, it's very difficult really to control the flow of the blade. It was a slow delivery and he read it to perfection.
Might be just a single directed, he might be gone, will be referred, I reckon, to the third umpire, G.A. Pratap Kumar. Directed from Mahendra Singh Dhoni, but they had to go for the single. 1 run could matter in the end. We'll wait for the third umpire's call.
He's so good with these direct hits, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. It was a quick return and he's out. Shot of the crease, well done Dhoni. Third umpire will signal that as out. And so Pakistan end the innings with 239 for 7, 50 overs bowled. Mohammad Yousuf remains not out. But the innings never got the tempo that it wanted. With wickets in hand, Pakistan would be just a touch disappointed that they couldn't get to. Whereas India will be looking to establish a strong footing through Sourav Ganguly and Sachin Tendulkar. Pakistan will be looking at express pace from Rawalpindi Express. He needs to provide them with a couple of quick breakthroughs. And he's quite capable of anyone who can bowl at around 90 Ks, has to be treated seriously, smartly. He's got a huge, long run-up.
But when he's off target at 90 miles per hour, then all Ganguly has to do is use his exquisite timing, deliberately hit up. And I think that was a good choice from Ganguly.
Yes, I meant 90 Ks, sorry, 90 miles and not 90 Ks. He's off the mark with a delightful cut shot. He's so strong in that area. Didn't quite middle it. It was kind of a reflex action from Sourav Ganguly, but good enough for him.
Not out straight away. Ian Gould shakes his head and says no, not giving that. And it's gone away for leg buys.
He got it wrong early on, Ian Gould. A leg before decision that was given against Kamran Akmal, the ball pitching outside the red zone. This time he was more careful with his decision.
Just look at how quickly that flies down to third man. It's an inadvertent shot, it's an edge. It wasn't the intended direction, but it gains him a boundary.
Once again, an Indian batsman hurried by the pace. Shoaib Akhtar thought that he was in business. Two slips in place, no one patrolling the gully area. Well, we've been mentioning that umpiring is getting tougher and tougher because of the competition. Against Kamran Akmal, Ian Gould got it wrong, big time. And against Sourav Ganguly, he got it spot on. Both balls pitching outside the red zone. He read one correctly, didn't read the other one too cleverly.
Gone, got him. It took a long time. The appeal from Akhtar and Akmal was protracted. It was long. They were convinced. The umpire thought about it for some time. And that's the end of Sachin Tendulkar. Shoaib Akhtar strikes.
Undone by a slow delivery. Good thinking on part of Shoaib Akhtar. He'd been clocking at around 150 Ks and certainly slowed it down just a little, not a great deal. 143, possibly just a little high, possibly going down the leg side. Couple of questions that had to be answered by the umpire. In the end, he waited and gave it in favor of Shoaib Akhtar. Gone for 4, India lose their first wicket for 14.
Gautam Gambhir comes to the crease. Looks to get himself in, looks to play himself in, work the ball around and then branch out into his shots. He'll be hoping to have enough time to do that here. 14 for 1. That is lucky, that is fortunate. That is unfortunate for Umar Gul. That could have gone onto the stump so easily. And already we're seeing a better length from Pakistan's bowlers than we saw from India's bowlers in the first 5 overs of their effort.
Not a great strike from Sourav Ganguly, playing away from the body and playing gingerly at that one. That ball not coming, that bat not coming down straight at the ball. And when the bat is away from the body, it is almost impossible really to control the shot now.
He picked the slow ball very well, did Gautam Gambhir. Ideally, it was too full from Shoaib Akhtar to cause the deception that he required.
Is in extremely good form, Gautam Gambhir. Looked great against the Australians and picked up the slow delivery instantly. It was a flighted slow delivery, so that allowed Gautam Gambhir just that extra bit of second to get into position and drive it through the offside. He's so good in that area, Sourav Ganguly. Pure timing and the placement was great. Umar Gul can't believe himself. He had bowled a pretty decent ball, just a little wide outside that off stump. But he had a field set at point and beautifully sliced away into the gap by Sourav Ganguly.
Yeah, absorbing contest here. Oh, it's through for 4. What does it take, he asks. Where was the keeper? Where was first slip? Amir Sahel.
Well, the keeper was on his heels. It was a regulation catch. And with that angle, the wicket keepers, they tend to move towards the leg stump to collect the ball. Because the angle is going to bring the ball towards the leg stump, and that's what Kamran was looking for. And the mistake he committed on that occasion, he got to his heels a bit too early, and that actually hampered him to move once the edge was taken. Costly miss.
Oh, there it is again! Oh my goodness.
Can you believe it? And the Pakistani team is looking for quick wickets to win this game. Shoaib Akhtar, their premier bowler, has created 2 chances in 2 deliveries, not taken. In my opinion, Yunus Khan was standing a bit back in the slips. This pitch is not offering a lot of bounce to the fast bowler.
Down leg side, beautifully picked off. Lovely shot. 4 runs, 43 for 1. Ganguly's on strike. Oh! That's 2 deliveries that have kept very, very low. He's expected the ball to rise about stump height, and it's gone through for 4 byes as well. Little wry grin there.
Well, that accentuates the point that those 2 misses in the last over, they can be very crucial for the Pakistani team. Because there are some tigers in this pitch, there is no doubt about it.
That's over the top. That's a great shot. And it's all the way. .53 for 1.
Take that, Omar Gul. Yes, you have bowled a good over, where I was beaten quite a few times. But here is my answer. That's Saraf Ganguly talking. Picked up 13 wickets against South Africa at home. Iftikhar Anjum. And he almost bowled similar conditions. And the reason for his success was those slow deliveries.
That's over the top. Beautifully played, Saurav. Stunning shot. 58 for 1. Gambhir looking the goods. Have a look at that for timing.
Well, if you have faced a bowler like Shoaib Akhtar, who was generating a lot of pace, this pace is peanuts for Ganguly. Just came down to the track with all the positivity.
Good line. There it is. He's got to pitch the ball outside leg stump with the angle he's bowling to hit the stumps. If he pitches the ball on middle around that area, it's always going to miss off stump. So he hits the pitch hard, and then maybe the sucker ball just up a little fuller, a little wider, and there's one that's got through. The player miss. Beautiful over. 58 for 1. There was a noise, but it could have been a click of the bat handle. The blade was open, wasn't it? Oh, pop that. Afridi has taken that, and that stung him. It was smashed at him. Very low down on the bat handle, isn't he? Sourav Ganguly plays with a fair bit of bottom hand when he decides to get after them. So his last 100 came against Kenya in the 2003 World Cup. Gambia. Let's have a look at Snicko here. Was there was a noise, wasn't there? I think it's just because it was off the face of the bat. Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it? That's probably why nobody was interested out there. Oh! Let's just come back a little. He just rolls his fingers back over the seam for an off-cutter to the left-hander. Just a little inside edge. And picked up the single, which brings Ganguly onto strike. He's got 25 from 34. Gambia's been busy. No big shots, but his strike rate's up to 84, so he's doing the job. The skipper, Shoaib Malik, asking his bowler what he wants. Any changes with the fields? There's always got to be a plan. If you bowl any delivery without purpose, you'll get punished. There's no risk about that. So the man's gone out from square leg to deep backwards square leg. So they're trying to sow some seeds of doubt. Will Ganguly get a bouncer or won't he? What will he bowl? That same corridor. Afridi having a great year.
Well, he's been the fine Abdul Rahman, the left-arm spinner. Shoaib Akhtar has bowled well. Provided the Pakistani with the start they were needing. Picked up Sachin Tendulkar with the new ball. After that, a few let-offs, and they've allowed the Indians to come back into this game. They are 61 for 1.
That's magnificent. He did change the angle. He tried something different. 50 partnership for these two.
Well, that was a fabulous strike. On 2 counts. One, the pitch is not that quick, and the other one, that angle. As a left-handed batsman, you tend to hit the ball with a vertical bat, not with a flat bat. Took his chances, paid off.
He's striking the ball beautifully. A wristy shot will earn him runs. Shoaib Akhtar, well, almost escorting the ball to the boundary. He's hurt himself, but it wasn't a proper gallop. Just a casual effort to get across to that one. And nicely played by Gautam Gambhir. Beautifully stroked away with his wrists.
Yes, it did appear that he was struggling chasing it. Now, it's not that he put his foot on the ball, but he certainly hurt himself.
Oh, beautiful drive to the offside. Delightful touch from Gautam Gambhir.
Well, this just underscores the fact that this man is in such sublime form. Just take a look at this shot. An absolute treat. Didn't try and overhit it, almost just caressing it. And mind you, there are 5 there in a ring around him on the offside, cutting the angles, cutting the gaps, and yet he threaded the needle.
Oh, that's beautifully put away. Read the link very quickly onto it. in a flash. Salman Butt gives up the chase. It's another 4 for Ganguly.
Really, the game is very quickly going away from Pakistan. They've really got to think this one out. That's a wonderful shot. Got into a position. Wasn't that short, but he was prepared for it. He was almost predetermined. Went across the line, tried to get inside the line of the ball, which he did, and he put it away. He's looking very dangerous now, Ganguly.
Goes for the slow delivery, where you can have 3 fielders outside the ring.
Rao Anjum with the ball. There's been a lot of start and stops in the running between the wickets between these two, so they've really got to be very, very circumspect about it. Can't afford to lose a wicket now and let Pakistan back with a toe in the door. It's still early days, 156 required. The asking rate is just about 4.5, so that shouldn't be a bother. It's about partnerships. That's what Pakistan couldn't quite muster. They had lots of starts, but they got bogged down by the spinners. That's where the match turned really for them. Then there was just no momentum about them.
And thanks to Nimbus, we'll have a look at the partnerships. First innings partnership, but Akmal, I thought, batted really well. 44 from 61, and then the innings sort of nosedive. It lost rhythm and was out of breath. Down the track, and he's cleared the infield. Beautifully struck by Gautam Gambhir. He's looking a finished article. Great strike, straight drive.
See, that's the unpredictability about this partnership. They can anytime come down the track and surprise you. They're not letting the bowlers settle into any line or length. Magnificent use of the feet, got to the pitch of it. Now he's a very brave batsman, this young man. Very uncluttered, very unconfused in his pattern. Very, very well balanced.
And he's not falling across the line. Beautifully struck for another 4. This probably is the best shot that he's played in this innings, because for a moment or so I thought that he was out of position. But how well he adjusted and stroked it away delightfully away from Yousuf.
Wonderful, great timing. Now, once in a while he's had this problem going too far across and getting wrapped on the pads. But you're right, he adjusted. He pushed his front foot back to try and make contact with the bat, and very cleanly. Lots of pressure on the skipper at the moment. It's just not being able to put a lid on the scoring rate. That's what's important now. Forget about the wickets.
Wrong line chance. Salman Butt with a solid throw. Ian Gould is going to ask for a referral. He doesn't look too excited, Kamran Akmal. He whipped the bails off.
I think he's made it. A direct hit would have been interesting. But I got the impression that if it was a direct hit, he would have been found wanting. Let's take a look. Oh, that's mighty close indeed. Indeed, a direct hit would have had him. He might still have to go. He might have to go. In fact, the bails are off and his bat is on the line.
I think Pakistan will think of this as a huge bonus. Ganguly late in coming back.
He's maybe not, sorry to butt in, but the bails have to be removed off the stumps. Now, this angle tells you that he may be struggling. The other angle, there's a bit of a doubt.
Bails are sort of off and dislodged, and he's on the line. It's a tester for the third umpire, but I think Pakistan will win the case. They have a strong one against Ganguly.
Maybe not on this angle, but the other one suggested that he was just on the line, so it's going to be interesting. Well, Pakistan have won the decision in their favor, and this is a huge blow. Sourav Ganguly has gone, can't believe it. but he's got to go, and it is a big, big knockout, literally, for India.
Yes, in the end, casual cricket from Ganguly. Brilliant stuff from Salman, but hard throw back to Kamran Akmal, who didn't look too amused, but he's got rid of Saurav Ganguly with that run-out dismissal. 96 for 2. Captain is in. India have lost a set batsman. Partnership is broken, courtesy good throw from Salman, but casual cricket from Ganguly. And these little instances can turn the game around. This is what Pakistan would be hoping at this stage. Another miraculous breakthrough. If they can get rid of Dhoni early on, it could be an interesting game. There you see him going nowhere. Out of sheer habit, he had to come down. And when the throw came and hit Kamran Akmal's gloves, it was all too late for Ganguly.
Very casual, Saurav Ganguly. In fact, the body language suggested that he was not out. He felt he was in. The Pakistani fielders felt he was in. So much for feeling.
Oh, badly handled by Umar Gul. Allowed the ball to run away to the boundary. Sarcastic claps from Afridi. 100 for 2 India now.
Good shot, found the gap. It's against the spin as well, and it'll win the race to the boundary. Balance has to be good with this sort of shot. You've got to get to the pitch, and Dhoni did just that.
And the flatter trajectory helping the batsman on that occasion. Abdul Rahman wasn't looking to turn the ball on that occasion. It was, in fact, an arm delivery. See, he has to attack the batsman in moderation. He doesn't have to have 4 fieldsmen around the bat. You know, he has to give a plan to the bowler. Remember the way Murli Karthik bowled for India and Harbhajan. You know, they had slip and they had fieldsmen stopping the singles, and there were 2 fieldsmen on the boundary line. So that's what he has to do. And he has to have his bowler flattening the ball rather than bowling flatter. If they keep on doing that, this will happen. It will make it easier for the batsman to time the ball and hit the ball into the gaps.
He's got such power. Dhoni, strong forearms. And speed of the bat. Umar Gul was sweeping on the offside and he had no chance. He hit it nicely in front of point. Ganguly still got his pads on. Tells you what he thinks about his own piece of faulty running. 111 for 2. Has he bowled him wrong on his legs? I think he has. Shahid Afridi does it again. It's what Pakistan needed. Would have been the off spinner from that line. It's the end of Gautam Gambhir.
And the reason why he was able to pick that wicket, that ball was tossed in the air. It was a flighted delivery, it turned, and Gautam Gambhir didn't have the answer for it. Is this the wicket Pakistani needed to come back into this game? 1-1-3 for 3 India.
Yuvraj Singh replaces Gautam Gambhir. One left-hander replaces another. Got it in the gap. The timing is sublime from Yuvraj.
Not an easy shot to play as a left-hander against a left-arm spinner, especially with the fact when the ball is spinning and not zipping off the surface. He backed away, created his own room.
Well played. Very well played by Yuvraj Singh. Shahid Afridi is after it and he loses the race this time and destroys one of the advertising hoardings. You'd hope that he hasn't injured himself.
And it needed 3 men to pick him up. when the left-arm spinner is not learning. Still looking to bowl flatter, allowing the batsman to time the ball. Poor effort, but in vain in the end from Shahid Afridi.
Couple of runs for Yuvraj Singh, 129 for 3. That is hit like a tracer bullet, flat and into the gap, most importantly.
It's difficult for a right-arm off spinner to get a leg before decision from that angle.
He's gone for the pull shot, and he's played it fine enough to get a boundary. Well executed shot from the Indian captain.
Fearless, that's what he is, and that's why he's one of my favourites. Yuvraj Singh Dhoni. Look at that. Got right over the top of that bouncer. And it wasn't slow. Look at that. Pulled it straight into the ground. No risk with it. Took it from in front of his eyes. Fabulous shot.
Well, full boundaries and the strike rate pretty good. He's got some big scores in one-day internationals, Mohammad Singh Dhoni. Again, a bit of an inside edge. He wants the single. Yousuf is the man. That mid on, easily taken single in the end. Hit hard, will stay hit. Boundary to end the over. 162 for 3.
Well, that's better. I think that maybe at the drinks break they had a chat, those two, and said, OK, let's get on with it. Let's finish it. It's not that difficult. When he hits them, Dhoni, they stay hit.
Oh, that would have been close. Got a hand to it. Short ball, he pulled it. And he's coming back for the second. So that is a chance that's gone a begging. It's also brought up the 50 of the partnership. 51 in 70 balls.
It's a difficult chance. It went quickly. It was going down and to the left. I'm sure it's Malik.
Oh, the outside edge, no slip in position, has gone for 4. That ball turned. Well, you only have yourselves to blame. Why don't you have a slip?
Beaten in flight. It was dragged down. A good adjustment in length by Rahman. And the turn defeated him.
That's been put away. That was an easy put away for the likes of Yuvraj Singh. Just a short, long out. Also brings up the 200. It's 200 for 3.
He still had to hit it in the gap. He still had to find the placement. Inexplicable that Rahman would drag this down. And what a partnership it has been. 87 from 117 balls.
Very clever indeed. Yuvraj moves to 50. 50 of 66. A very important innings. That might set the tone for the series. Remember, this is match number 1 in a 5-match series, and he's played it to the tee. Really looking like a matured cricketer in one-day cricket, playing exactly according to the situation.
I'll take it a step further, Aaron, and we'll get a lot of time to discuss it, but he's been in such prime form in one-day cricket, scoring all around the park, and he badly wants that test run. Good run in test match cricket. Test match cricket is still the epitome for all these guys. The one-day game is great and it has its place, And he's batted well today.
Yes, indeed. I think he's just round the corner now. He needs to be given a long, extended run in that game, Test cricket. Dhoni too, 49 of 67 with 6 boundaries. Almost unobtrusively, he's reached to that 50. Bit of hesitancy. Discretion, the better part of valor. 202 for 3. And that's his 50 as well. So Dhoni on 50 as well. And to tell you more is Shiva Ramakrishnan, and with him Bruce Yardley.
Thanks, Arun. Good effort by the captain and the vice captain. It's been great entertainment with this partnership of 90, both batsmen getting to their half centuries. Small little milestones achieved along the way to what should be a good victory for the Indians. The crowds enjoyed it. Struck very firmly. Afridi in the deep doesn't even bother to move because the timing has been absolutely spot on from Yuvraj Singh.
Overpitched. Just tried a slightly slower delivery, I think. Ran his fingers across the ball. Look at this magnificent timing.
That single will bring up the 100 partnership between the Indian captain and the vice captain. Dhoni on 52, Yuvraj on 58.
Fabulous partnership off 129 balls. As we said, all they had to do was pace themselves at about 5 and over, and that's what they've done.
That should be 4. Easy pickings. Such a hard striker of the cricket ball. There was a big gap between long on and deep mid-wicket.
They'd be pretty happy with this, the Indians. They had their champion, Sachin, failed today with a bat, and yet they've still done it so easily.
And again, at this time, will be cut off. Salman Butt, the fielder.
You're on TV. They love it. Yeah, inexperienced, and I think he needs to become a more attacking captain, Shoaib Malik.
The run rate required at the moment is 3. He's just got 4 men inside the ring. Well, the margin of victory, the manner in which India will also be very important as far as this series goes. It's in the air. Afridi has taken it. A good innings from Yuvraj Singh comes to an end. That might be a little too late in the day, with India requiring another 22 to win. Good neat catch in the deep by Shahid Afridi, and a wicket for the left-arm spinner Rahman.
Did you see that man in the crowd shaking his head, saying, why did he do this? Maybe he was beaten in flight. Maybe we'll put some credit towards the bowler. Didn't quite get hold of it, threw the shot too early. Gone for 58, 218 for 4.
Robin Uthappa is the new batsman at the crease. Mahendra Singh Dhoni has a lot of confidence in this young man. Could make a remark that Dhoni is willing to bat up the order if he has somebody like Robin Uthappa batting down the order with that strike rate and average. Very early days in his one-day international career, but very promising. Hit something on the way, certainly. Very interesting, maybe clipping the pad.
Well, just before I came on to commentary, I thought, well, clip the pad on the way through. For a couple of quick wickets, it'd make it interesting. A good finish to the day where India would just have to fight a little bit. But clearly not the glove or the bat that time.
Into the gap and will race away to the boundary. Great shot, everything right about it.
A short arm punch. We saw Yuvraj Singh play one of the, not off the front foot, but off the back foot, a little short arm punch through the covers to get off the mark. Look at that. No flourish, just lets the ball come on. Great shot. Great player.
Again the misfield. Provide the batsman with an opportunity to pick up a single. Just 17 required to win. Accident taken. Good catch. Shoaib Akhtar picks up his second wicket. And what a relief for him. And a very good innings once again from the Indian captain Mohammad Dhoni comes to an end. He's made a significant contribution to this total.
It's a very loose shot, just a wild swing. Good catch in the end. Extra pace from Akhtar. Why has it taken him so long to bring him back into the attack? Okay. 63, he's gone. It's 225 for 5.
Irfan Pathan, and he's batted up and down the order for India. Good strike rate. Very handy batsman. Down the order. A slip in a gully in position now for Shoaib Akhtar. And a good start. Good delivery to the newcomer. Struck on the pad. It does get a long way across. Gould, the umpire, wasn't impressed at all, but he's got this tendency to get his front leg a long way across, and this could be interesting again.
Does it come back from there? It does. Probably doing too much.
We'll get a lucky boundary. Almost chopped it on. Thought there was enough width to free his arm. Pathan getting lucky.
He's got very lucky here. This probably didn't miss by all that much. Gave the keeper no chance inside edge like that. He's unsighted. And a handy 4.
Much better contact this time. And the intention was also good. He was looking to hit down the ground. That's where his strength lies. Robin Uthappa will pick up a boundary. India need another 2.
Well, that just confirms the fact, doesn't it, that you just play good cricket shots. Just hit through the line of the ball. Keep your eyes on the ball.
Walk down the ground. And the outside edge. Will run away to the boundary. And that gets India the winning runs. It's the trademark Robin Uthappa shot. He likes to walk down the pitch and have a go. And he's gone mighty hard at that delivery. And a thick outside edge gets India the winning runs, and they go up 1-0 in this 5-match series.
Convincing win. But I still don't think that Pakistan really took the game up to India enough. Both when they batted or when they bowled. I thought they were just too lazy with their batting in the first 33 overs. And no attempt to push singles, keep the run rate ticking over. And then when they bowled, I felt that there wasn't enough purpose with their bowling. Their field placements, they didn't attempt to bowl India out until too late.
Well, this is India's only 7th win at home in 22 matches against Pakistan. Pakistan have won 15. There's a good feeling. Young guns getting an opportunity and doing extremely well.
It was a difficult day in the end, but do you think you were about 15-20 runs lighter, shorter?
I think 240 was defendable, and we had few mistakes. We dropped some 2-3 catches, and they got a good start. That's why they made that 240.
Fielding was always going to be a problem for Pakistan team. I mean, even though you've improved, but really, I mean, that was the real difference between victory and a loss, I guess.
Well, we're struggling a bit at the moment, but we've learned a lot from today's game, and we still have four more games to go, and we'll do well, inshallah.
terrific performance. You wanted this victory up front and you've got it.
Well, of course, when you're playing Pakistan at home, you need a good start. And I think, initially the start that they got was excellent. And by the time, I think the bowlers, they realized what length was good on these wickets. And I think they exploited the conditions very well. And the main point was, they bowled according to the field. They bowled well, but they bowled according to the field. That was very important for me.
And spinners really did a fantastic job. Once again, Murali, Karthik and Harbhajan were impossible, unstoppable almost.
Well, they have been doing well consistently. In the last series also, they bowled well. And of course, these conditions, they favor the spinners. And I think the way they are bowling, I think they